Thank you so much. Can't get to my controls. All right. Happy February. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like February is the most challenging month of all because it's the time where winter has just worn off the novelty of snow and cold, and you're just like ready for it to be warm again. That's how I feel. So we're going to pop around and do some introductions. And when you introduce yourself, if you want to tell us your name and affiliation, and then either what are you really excited about for spring, or if you are our naturalist side of things, what signs of spring do you see? I'm thinking of birders in particular, because I keep hearing birds and I'm like, it's coming, even though I have no idea what birds they are. So I can go first. I'm Stephanie Cavino, the director of the Blackstone River. I know the name of my own organization, the Blackstone Watershed Collaborative. It's Friday. And I'm really excited to get out in the river again. I'm so excited to get paddling. So as soon as it's not frozen and like I'm not gonna fall on ice when I'm portaging, we're gonna get out there. So I'll hand it over to Kaylee.
Hi everyone, I'm Kaylee McLaren. I'm the restoration manager at the collaborative. I'm excited for all sorts of stuff. I'm excited for it to be warm. I just bought a new birding guide. I'm like again trying to get into birding. I feel like I do this every spring. I'm like not an ecologist by trade, but I love birds. So yeah, I'd say those two things. Getting out also to do field work. We have a lot of culvert work coming up and paddles as well, which is exciting.
Great, thank you. How about Adam?
I saw Adam and Adam, the town planner for Auburn. I'm also looking forward to being warm again. Um, I just ordered some seeds for the vegetable garden, so I'm ready to get going with that and planting way more vegetables than I could ever consume.
Love it. Thanks, Adam. David?
Okay, David Tapscott. I'm from Uxbridge. I'm affiliated with the Board of Health and a couple of MVP projects right now. And what am I excited about? Oh, it's the Cardinal. The Cardinals are singing their spring song. Their I need to mate song, I think. Um, and excited about getting the melt, having the ice melt so I can walk on my driveway. Also, Adam, getting some seeds in the ground. Haven't seen the ground yet, but I know it's there.
Love it. Thanks, David. Let's go Donna and then Joanne and then Heidi.
Donna Williams, Blackstone River Coalition and Blackstone Heritage Corridor. I can't wait to hear and see red-winged blackbirds. They should be arriving. Well, things are going to warm up over the weekend, so maybe they'll come. And then I can't wait to see snowdrops. They're coming, will be coming along too.
Thanks, Donna. Joanne? Joanne, jump in. Go ahead.
I will. Joanne Holohan, Blackstone River Watershed Association Education Coordinator. And I too am excited about the birds. I just wanted to mention, maybe Kaylee knows about this or others do, the Merlin app by Cornell. Oh, that's a fantastic app for identifying birds. And both the male and female cardinal were at my feeder. So I was very excited. Just one more little plug. We're also excited because it's going to be the 10th annual Family Fishing Day, Family Fun Fishing Day. And that's going to be a Riverbend Farm on May 5th. So we're excited about that.
Love it. That's always a great event. Yeah, thanks, Joanne. Heidi?
Hi, I think we apparently have some kindred souls here. Anyway, I'm Heidi Ritchie, Director of Policy and Advocacy at Mass Audubon, and I'm really looking forward to spring as well. We have tons of cardinals at our feeder this year, and also getting ready to plant the vegetable garden. That's right, really enjoyable spring, summertime activity.
Thanks. How about Aaliyah, Peter, and Olivia?
Hi, I'm Aaliyah Casso. I'm the conservation agent in the town of Shrewsbury. I am really looking forward to I love hearing the birds, but I more look forward to the singing of the spring peepers. I love hearing the frogs all summer long. Yeah,
That's like my soul sound right there. It's the most soothing sound in the world in my mind. Thanks.
yeah. My grandmother loved them, so it really connects me to my childhood too.
Love it. Thanks. Peter?
Yes, Peter Coffin with the Blackstone River Coalition and the Blackstone Headwaters Coalition. Menden Concom. Got my seed order in. Some sap has already been made, looking for more sap to run. And I'm about to beginning to trim my beard. That's a sign of spring. Excited by the upcoming summit because Bill Subject, the professor at Holy Cross, is going to be the keynote speaker, and he's just such a ball of enthusiasm. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thanks, Peter. Olivia, and then Anya and Danielle.
Hi, I'm Olivia Hood. I'm from the Greater Worcester Land Trust. I am their newly hired stewardship coordinator. I'm very excited to be here. This is my first meeting with you guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. The sign that I am most excited to see for spring that I haven't seen yet is bloodroot, which won't come up for a little while, but it's a beautiful white little flower. So that's the first flower I usually see, and I'm eager to see it.
Nice, thanks.
Everyone. I'm Anya Wolchinsky with Blackstone Heritage Corridor. I'm the Director of Volunteers and Community Engagement. Pretty much on the same line as everyone else. So excited to hear the birds. I love black-capped chickadees, and I've been noticing them more and more every morning, which has been lovely. And my seeds just came in today, so I'm very excited to get home, and I have my egg cartons ready to start getting the plants going. So very excited.
So many gardeners. I love it. I kill everything. I can't do plants. Sorry. Just animals. Danielle?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Danielle Moore. I'm the Watershed Outreach Manager at the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program. And for signs of spring, I can think of two at the top of my head that I really look forward to. The first being snowdrops as well. And I also always look forward to being able to explore vernal pools. That's one of my favorite things about springtime, and just seeing all the cool wildlife that inhabits them. And it's such a temporary thing, but they're so cool.
Love it. Thanks. Kevin, Dan, and then Nick.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Kevin Rice, Blackstone River Valley National Historical Park. Two things I'm excited about for the spring. One on the more realistic side, hopefully a federal budget and more stability in the federal government. Fingers crossed. And the other one is definitely the river. It's dreadful looking at the river with sheets of ice on it that are too thin to skate on, but too thick to kayak in. So really looking forward to that.
And it's Kevin in this picture, actually. So we're going to get there, Kevin.
Sounds good.
Dan?
Dan Giza. I'm a fishery biologist with Verdantis Flow Labs and also a Tatnick Brook Watershed Association member. I'd say I'm most excited about not having to keep moving firewood and snow and ice and all of those things, and making more time for other more fun activities outside.
I agree with you there. Firewood, again, it's like has that nostalgic niceness to it, and then you get real sick of it. It wears off.
I agree.
Nick?
Good morning. This is Nick Cohen, Horsley Witten Group. I am looking forward to getting outside and my face not hurting from the cold, although I do enjoy the winter. It'll be nice to get outside and not have your face hurt.
Love it. Small expectations here. How about John, and then Judy and Hillary?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm John Moslin. I'm with the Blackstone River Watershed Council, and I'm still excited about a grant that we received from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Foundation. And I'm excited that I have a Lincoln High School student who is reaching out to the 5 town planners of Pawtucket, Central Falls, Cumberland, Lincoln, and Woonsocket, and talking to the superintendent of Lincoln to reach out to the same superintendents in those 5 towns. So that's part of her civics project that she's doing.
That sounds awesome. Looking forward to that, John. Go ahead, Judy.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Judy Rondo. I am the non-point source outreach coordinator with the Watershed Planning Program at Mass DEP. I think we're all really very like-minded, and I've agreed with a lot of things that everyone has said. I also am looking forward to hearing the blackbirds, the red-winged blackbirds return. We have a big marsh across the street, and they're there all summer. So that's one of the very first signs of spring that I hear. And also we have a small vernal pool in our backyard. And so, you know, once the weather warms up and it starts raining a little bit, I'll be looking for salamanders and frogs in my yard and in the pond. So hopefully it's not too far off.
Thanks, Judy. Hillary?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Hillary King. I work for the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program with EEA in Massachusetts. And yeah, I second everybody else with the plants and the birds and not having my face hurt when I walk the dog. She just can't even go outside. It's like, I'm free. She goes outside in the backyard and then she just starts slipping all over the place. It's really sad.
Thanks, Hillary. Phyllis? And then we can go Morgan and Danielle and Connor.
Good morning, Phyllis Charpentier, President, Manchog Pond Foundation. We love the white, the snow, the ice on the lake and all the activities there, but I'm looking forward to the blue of the lake and the greens of spring. We have a lot going on with a grant from NRCS on our conservation property, with pollinators and controlling invasives, a little DCR grant. And then we have more Sutton High School interns joining us and 4-H youth doing another pollinator. And we just finished our 319 grant. So that's a big, glad it's over and great things brought to Manchog Pond. Thank you, Judy.
Congratulations. It's wonderful. So much going on.
It was a great project. Thank you.
Morgan?
Hi, I'm Morgan Husset. I'm a researcher at Clark University. I do research on sediment transport. My grant is still going on, so that's the good part. So I'm still on that for 3 years. What I'm most excited for the spring, with a toddler that sleep 1 to 3, I'm very excited for days getting longer and later. So and the thing that I'm on those signs of day length a lot because of that. And so I'm very excited that it's a day at 6:30 and still some daylight after 5, and so that's nice. But yeah, I would love to be able to not sleep outside, not sleep on the ice all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks. Danielle?
Hi, my name is Danielle Maccheroni, and I work at the Mass DEP Surface Water Quality Standards section. I work 1 aisle over from Judy, and I have been trying to attend these meetings for so long, probably like a year. And for a while, I had project meetings every other Friday, so it just didn't work out. But anyway, I know Steph from a past life. And I am working on, the reason I wanted to attend your meetings was since I saw Steph's talk at the Narragansett, what was it called? It was like a symposium, and I'm working on tribal reserved rights, water quality standards. So I just saw a lot of crossover between the things our groups are working on. And so I'm hoping to be a more regular attendee now that my project meetings are over. So, I am looking forward to getting outside and walking. I realized my body was like, when's the last time you went on a walk yesterday? So I put on some Yaks tracks and I did a 1-hour walk, and I don't think my legs knew what was happening. So I'm going to try and do a little bit more of that. But I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was really great to see you join today. I'm so glad you could be here.
Yeah, finally.
And excited to have that conversation around our overlap as well. Thanks.
Yeah, maybe we can talk a little bit offline at some point in the next few weeks or something.
Sounds good. Thank you. Connor.
Hi, good morning. My name is Connor. I'm an associate engineer at Comprehensive Environmental Incorporated. I am looking forward to having the trails free of snow and ice to get some good trail running in. It's a little bit too slidey and slippery for me right now.
Yeah, trail walking is enough of a challenge. Running is beats up.
Yeah.
And Bill, you always sneak past and join after introductions, but we caught you this time. So if you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're excited about for spring.
Well, I'm down in the basement where I work, and every time someone comes to the door, I have to run upstairs, so I turn it off instead of leaving you hanging and listening to the sounds of the house. I'm Bill Napolitano. I'm an interested citizen, and I'm looking forward to the smell of the earth and field work. There's nothing like the smell of the earth when it starts to come back to life, except the fall. That's even better. The smell of the earth then, so.
Thank you, Bill. Great. Well, great to hear from everybody and see you guys again. Thanks for joining, and thanks to everybody that could make our last in-person meeting in January. That was really exciting. I neglected to take a photo. I'm very sorry, but it was great to see you all there as well. So we were going to have Lydia Olson speak about MS4 permitting and stormwater permitting, but unfortunately she has the flu. And so she's not able to attend this morning. She sent us a note last night saying that she was not feeling up for this. But there is something else that I wanted to share with you. So I think if I move over here and I press this, it'll work, hopefully. So this seems like so long ago, but back when we did our paddle in September, we worked with a videographer who recorded different pieces of that, and we recently got the finished product of this. So I'm gonna play, it's only about a minute and 25 seconds. Hopefully you can hear it when it plays. You hear music playing? The Blackstone Watershed Collaborative is a nonprofit supporting an no, can't. Oh, you can? Okay, good. Network of partners working together to improve community resilience and restore the Blackstone River in the traditional unceded lands of our Indigenous partners, including the Narragansett, who call the river Mishkittukuk-Sepe, and Nipmuc, who call their relative Kittikuk, both meaning Great Tidal River. To effectively restore this industrial impacted river, we know we need to inspire its future stewards, and there's nothing like being on a river to experience it for yourself. In September 2024, collaborative partners joined together to paddle 60 miles from Worcester to Providence and explore the river's channelized urban areas, winding natural floodplains, and rushing rapids. We navigated around 19 dams segmenting the river, and each day, tired paddlers reflected on the privilege to share this little understood river stories, including the critical need for improved community connection. Community members joined us for the last few miles, ending at Narragansett Brewing to celebrate our shared vision of a resilient river supporting resilient communities. Thank you to our sponsors for making this event possible, including Horsley Witten Company and Narragansett Brewing. Interested in learning more about the collaborative's work? Check out our website at blackstonecollaborative.org. Oops, we don't need to watch it a second time. So we were just really excited to have that finally. It's currently in the process of uploading to our website. It's really slow to do that, but it will be there. So thank you to all the partners that participated in that paddle and supported this, and to our board members that gave us feedback on the kind of sneak peek preview of that video. But we're really excited, and we're really looking forward to the next paddle, which we're already starting to think about. So that was our positive for the moment. And then we just wanted to give also an opportunity to talk about the situation with federal funding. The collaborative has been affected by that. A few of our grants were paused, and we weren't able to bill. Most of those have restarted again, but we still do have one grant that we're not able to work on or invoice for. So we have tried to figure out some different resources out there, and we've been following different networks. We found that the Environmental Protection Network, EPN, which is, it was started about 5 years ago, and it's a lot of former EPA that left and want to provide technical assistance, free technical assistance to organizations and communities. They've got a lot of great resources. There's also the Lawyers for Good Governance, or L4GG, totally rolls off the tongue. They've put together a lot of resources on what the situation is and what legal battles are occurring. So I just want to share those resources with you if that's something that's affecting you. And if anyone had specific questions or thoughts or concerns that you wanted to bring up here, you know, I'm not sure I can help, but I'm happy to try and connect you with something. So is there anything that folks wanted to talk about, or if you are being affected with federal funding? Well, hopefully that means no one else is affected, and that would be fantastic. So hopefully you don't need these resources, but in case you do, or if you want to share them with other partners, you know, feel free. Oh, Donna, yeah.
Jeff, if maybe this is the time to talk about Jim McGovern's coffee invite. Tomorrow morning, Jim McGovern is inviting all of us to have coffee with him at Holy Cross. 9:30 to 10:30. And this is in Luth Concert Hall, Prior Performing Arts Center at Holy Cross. So it's a good opportunity to listen to what Jim has to say, you know, really learn the reality of everything, and also to then add ammunition to, you know, our counteroffensive. So I'll be there. I hope to see all of you there too. Thanks.
Thanks, Donna. And, you know, for clarification also, you know, we are a 501c3. We are a nonpartisan organization. We are not choosing, you know, sides of the aisle here. We're really just, you know, concerned about continuing funding for nonprofits and the kind of climate resiliency and environmental justice work that we do. So our next topic area is academic partnerships and research opportunities. So one is, and Kaylee, interrupt me at any point if you want to talk about any of these things. Okay. But Roger Williams University's Marine Affairs Institute was able to get funding from the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program. So thank you, NBEP. And they created these 2 reports on dam safety and liability. One is more general in the Blackstone Watershed, both in Mass and Rhode Island, and one was more specific to tribal ownership, potentially, of basically looking at orphan dams or unknown ownership dams, and how do we obtain potentially those dams and then explore removal. So the kind of bottom line is that in both Massachusetts and Rhode Island, there is not a clear way to do this. We did recently learn that Massachusetts has a pilot orphan dam program. We don't know a lot about that program yet, but we'll be meeting with them in a couple of weeks, hopefully, to learn a bit more. But what I found really interesting was that they gave a couple of examples of other states that do this well. One was in New Hampshire, that has a process for transferring ownerships of unknown dams. And the other, I believe, was Wisconsin, and they have a very easy way to do it. Basically, you know how if you write, if you have a Conservation Commission proposal or a planning board proposal and you have to like notify your neighbors and post something publicly and then wait for your comment period, it's like that. They say, hey, we don't think anybody owns this dam. They post it in a bunch of places. They wait for the open period to end, and then they say, okay, no one claimed it. We're going to just take ownership and take it out. Mostly it is take it out in this case because there's no one maintaining these dams, especially when they're high hazard or significant hazard dams. There's concern for loss of life or loss of property. So we're really interested in exploring more about this with both Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and learning about other best practices and what opportunities we have to encourage this kind of work. Heidi.
Thanks so much. And yeah, look forward to reviewing these. Will the links that are in the chat, will those be in the meeting notes?
Yes.
Okay, great. And are you in touch with Maria Gabriel from TNC?
I don't think I have talked to her about this.
Okay, because she's part of a team at TNC that are working on a big multi-state project to identify, prioritize dams, and work on, both capacity building as well as regulatory reforms and all that. So I'm, talking with her as part of the bigger effort to accelerate, all kinds of restoration. But Massachusetts, they're going to be working across like 14 states, but Massachusetts is one of the first 3 states that they're focusing on.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you mind just sending me an introduction email to her or just sharing her contact information and I can reach out?
Sure, I can do that. And she's also, I think, been appointed one of the members of the um, multi-agency wetlands and waterways streamlining initiative external stakeholder group. That's a mouthful. And our first meeting is next week of that group.
Perfect. I will reach out before then and make sure she has that then. Thank
Yeah,
you.
well, and and I'm trying to I'll make sure I'm trying to compile like everything related to all of this. I'm trying to figure out how to put it all in one place. But yeah, so and MACC is on that group and some other good people as well.
Great. Yeah. Looking forward to hear how that goes, what they come up with. Also on student projects, we're working with Bryce Dubois, who is a member of our board and also is currently a professor at University of New Haven. So he's working with a student who's interested in fish passage and fish biology, and she is exploring the economic and social benefits of if we achieve fish passage around the lowest 4 dams and restore migratory species to the Blackstone. So we're currently working on defining the scope and the timeline and what her interest level is, whether this becomes her thesis or is just sort of a shorter term project. But we're really excited about that, and we think it's going to be a great some really great information for everybody to share. So we'll keep you posted. Does anyone else have any other academic partnership updates that they want to share? Okay. We don't have any bikeway greenway updates. Does anyone else have other bikeway or greenway updates that you want to share?
Stephanie, on academic updates, I would just note that UMass is working on a project for DEP developing guidance on stream crossings, how to evaluate maximum extent practical for so that stay tuned. That's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, that's working with Laura at DEP, is that right? And Scott Jackson?
I think, yeah, Scott Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think that Laura might be one of our speakers also potentially at Mass Econ talking about that policy and regulatory reform changes. So great. First of all, I've never seen this picture before. So Kaylee, this is the best picture from the fish parade I think I've seen. I need it. I love it. It's so good with the bubbles.
Isn't it? It's so cute.
It makes me excited for another fish parade. And NPS just gets all the credit for this amazing giant fish person, fish ranger.
Also, shout out to my family that's in the bottom right of this corner. They came to support, which was really sweet.
Definitely a family affair in the nonprofit world. So one update is that Rhode Island DEM has successfully applied. It was a big hurdle to just get that application done to the NOAA Restoring Fish Passage Through Barrier Removal Grant. It was about $7.5 million ask, and that is partial funding out of about $19 million total that's that we need to construct a vertical slot fishway around the lowest two dams, Main Street and Slater. They're currently working on an application to the Habitat Transformational, I forget the full name of it, but in that one will be due in April. And then they're also exploring potentially applying to the tribal priorities for barrier removal grant. So we'll keep you posted there. We also are thinking about, our next Fish Passage parade. I'll say that we are not totally sure on dates and locations and everything yet, but we will have that hopefully in the next week or two. So by the time we meet again, we'll have that for you and we'll have a good save the date. So for water quality updates, we have not had any CSO events since our last meeting, which is fantastic. Kaylee, is there anything about CSO that you wanted to add?
Yeah, so our next meeting for the CSO working group, if you're interested, is March 6th, I believe. So those meetings are just to share updates and kind of form a plan going forward with how we are approaching CSO as a region.
Thanks, Kaylee. And then do you want to take this one as well?
Sure, yeah. So each year, the Lakes and Prawns program for the city of Worcester has a State of the Lakes presentation meeting. So Katie Liming did an excellent job presenting all of the great work that they've been doing over the past year. So these are the results, just a really quick snapshot. There's a longer report for each pond that's listed here, and those links should be in the notes as well if you're interested.
Thanks. Does anyone else, I know a lot of people attended that State of Lakes meeting. Is there anything else that folks wanted to share about that? Peter, feel free to jump in, but we shared your different updates, including that BRC received a water quality monitoring grant program, which is so exciting. So they're going to have additional monitoring at Coal Mine Brook in Worcester and some tributaries of Manchog Pond. Their water quality monitoring summit and volunteer appreciation event is March 29th from 9 a.m. to noon. I think that's a Saturday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday from 9 to 12. The last Saturday in March.
Yeah, so it's at the Visitor Center in Worcester. So there's a link to RSVP here, or we can, it's in the chat as well. I think Kaylee's going to grab it for you. And then lastly, the Headwaters field coordinator position is open, and BRC is accepting applications. So you can contact Heather to learn more about that. Anything else, Peter?
Yeah, just little details on the grant that we got. It will help us, it will fund the Massachusetts portion of our water quality program. But even better is it's going to allow us to do some bacteria testing. And that's in the Coal Mine Brook and working with Lake Quinsigamond. So they'll be a great partner. And then working with Manchog Pond and Phyllis and others, going to get some more equipment to do long-term monitoring, so in-place monitoring. So we're gearing up our program. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, congratulations.
And, the position is $20 an hour. Good people to work with. So if you know of anyone who's interested, send it on to Heather.
Great, thanks, Peter. Any other water quality updates that folks want to share? Okay.
I don't know if this is a water quality update, but it's a resource that I just recently learned about. I don't know if you all are aware of it. The New England Water Infrastructure Network, which is run out of the New England Environmental Finance Center, the same group that runs the SNEP network. And they provide support for communities on water infrastructure needs, and they have some money through the BIL law, which apparently they still have this money available and are working on these things. So it's for drinking water, wastewater, stormwater, non-point source pollution, and the state revolving funds, but they can provide some capacity and support. So I'll put the link in the chat. They asked me to spread the word about their program.
Yeah, that's great. We love technical assistance and, and funding. Thanks, Heidi. We don't really have an access update for you other than to say, we are actively in the works of planning dates. And as you know, we had received a National Fish and Wildlife Foundation funding through the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management. So that's going to fund a lot more recreational and reconnaissance paddles. And that funding contract hasn't begun yet. We anticipate that to start in like April probably. So we'll have some more information there, but definitely going to get you guys out on the river in different sections too. For anyone else have access things you want to share? Okay. For dam removal, we had assisted the town of Northbridge to apply for a feasibility study to remove Linwood Pond Dam through DER. That didn't get funded, but they are thinking about other opportunities, whether they apply for priority project status through DER or other options, because the owner is very interested in removal. We separately also applied to the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program's aquatic connectivity grant with tie and bond to get permit-ready designs for another 2 privately owned dams where the dam owner is interested in removal in Douglas, Mass. So we are waiting to hear back from NBP about that one. I think that's in March. And then separately, as I mentioned, we got that NIFWIF grant. So we're going to explore a lot around hydrology, dams, access, and restoration. So again, we're starting to put together some of those pieces and figure out our timelines and our deliverables and everything. So we're really excited about that project, and we'll have more to share soon. So you have heard us say before, Mass ECAN, the Ecosystem Climate Adaptation Network, they have a lot of different working groups. Hillary and myself co-lead the Nature-Based Solutions Working Group, for instance, but they just started a new working group on dam removal, and they met for the first time February 3rd. So we finalized like our mission statement and group goals. It's very new, but we started to think about what are the ways that this working group of dam removal practitioners could enhance the scale and pace of dam removal throughout the state and potentially over state lines, since some of our watersheds like the Blackstone go into other states. The Merrimack also goes into New Hampshire, for instance. So if you're interested in learning more about that dam removal working group, you can contact Jess Satella, I think is how you say it, Jess Satella. At UMass, she works with Melissa Ocaña. But it was a great first meeting. I think there were 25 people there, and we had some really active discussions. Also around dam removal, there was recently a webinar from American Rivers on community engagement. So we've got the link to that recording there if you want to see it. And then also Dam Busters, I think we put this in the notes before, but they started up a 201 series. So last year they had a 101 of introduction to all of these different topics. Now there's this 201 on each of those topics, diving in a bit more. And the next one is about building a dam removal project team, which I'm pretty excited about because I'm hoping to need to do that soon. So you can register for that one. It's March 12th at noon. Anything else that folks want to share around dam removal or restoration?
Yeah, just wanted to, Uxbridge is gonna go ahead and apply for the dam removal, small dam on a tributary to the West River, which feeds into the Blackstone and Uxbridge. And we've been there before, and we hope there are much more favorable terms that the town will look favorably upon. And I'm working with MVP and hopefully with the Blackstone River Watershed Association to make it an educational sort of showcase project. It's fully permitted, and so it's ready to go, and it's a matter of getting funding and all that. So we're right in the cusp of that, I think.
David, is that homebrew dam?
Yes, homebrew is known as, yeah.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, great. Thank you, David, for championing that project and ushering it along for over the years. It's one of the challenges of dam removal is it's a time commitment.
Right.
Thanks. Anything else that folks want to share? Okay. For grants, so I don't remember if we shared this before. I'm sorry if we did, but the collaborative received a rooting resilience program from River Network, working with Worcester Tech High School on creating a new urban forestry program. And so 30 students each year would get certified in this Society of American Foresters Urban and Community Foresters program. And so when they graduated, they would have this certification and be ready to go into a forestry job. Unfortunately, this funding is through the Forest Service, and this one is on pause due to the federal funding constraints. So we're hoping that it starts back up again soon, or alternatively, that we can figure out a way to snuggle it into other grants and find some additional funding from our partners working on us with this program so that we can make it happen. So we're really excited about the project. These students would not only work in the classroom setting, but they would also have internships and hands-on experience working with Mass Audubon at Broadmeadow Brook. They would go to Pequoig Farm, which is in Orange, Massachusetts, and stewarded by Nipmuc, and learn about Indigenous practices of land stewardship. And they would also go to Harvard Forest and learn about all these different long-term ecological projects that are happening at Harvard Forest and what they've learned about diverse forests and different forestry practices. So we're really hoping it can continue. Clark University was also a partner in providing training on GIS and using handheld GPS devices and all these different things. So fingers crossed that we can keep working on this great project. Any other grant updates, Kaylee, that I'm not thinking of for us?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay. So for you guys, here are a few things that were shared that with us as asked to share with you. Kaylee, do you want to take this?
Sure. So the town of Lincoln has this new Adopt a Plot program. So you can sign up to have your own plot that you tend to throughout the town. And it seems like a really cool program. So we're excited to share it. I can take this one too. So we have some upcoming conferences. So the first is MACC, that's on March 1st. The Rhode Island Hes Learning Community Conference will be on March 3rd. The Mass Environmental Education Society Conference will be on March 12th. The Rhode Island Environmental Education Association, RIA, is that conference will be on March 15th. Then the Citizen Planner Training Collaborative is also on the 15th. So I guess you have to choose there, one or the other. The Massachusetts Land Trust Coalition, which is a big one, is on March 21st. And the Mass Ecosystem Climate Adaptation Network, so Mass ECAN, will be on May 1st. So we are helping Mass ECAN organize that. That'll be at Clark University. Details to come. And then the Rhode Island Flood Mitigation Association, RIFMA, conference will be on May 15th. So lots of cool conferences and gatherings coming up.
And Stephanie, we have at the MACC conference, there are going to be a bunch of different workshops on restoration of all kinds. And I'm helping to organize and moderate 3 of them, including one on policy and regulatory efforts to update and streamline. So,
yeah, MACC is always a good one. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Heidi.
And then RIDEM, the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, is looking for volunteers to conduct herring counts this spring. So we talk a lot about getting herring over the lowest 4 dams on the river and getting them to Lonsdale Marsh. So I thought this would be cool to include if you're interested in that project, you can go and see what it might be like if we brought herring to the Blackstone. So the counting season is April through May, so it's only a couple months there. And I'll drop the link in the chat to register if you're interested.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Yeah.
So now we'll stop talking at you and hand it over to you guys, and you're welcome to share whatever updates or thoughts you'd like. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, it's not my program to tout, but I'm excited by the city of Worcester has now engaged Bob Hartzell of, I believe, Geosyntec to go ahead and develop 9-point plans, which is basically a management plan for lakes on the 3 lakes that they're interested in, which would be Coos, which includes all of Tatnuck, Indian Lake, and Lake Quinsigamond. So they had the first meeting, and it's going to be a 1-year program, and Geosyntec is going to come up with a model to show basically where the phosphorus is coming from. And then they're going to be looking for sites, I guess, to infiltrate them. So this is all going to happen in a year, and they're looking for public input. So I don't have the contacts, but it's through Katie Liming, and anyone who's interested in Worcester, anyone who's interested in pond management, it'll be an education for us all. So I look forward to that.
Heidi?
Sorry about that. So I've been talking a lot. I don't know. I don't want to take too much time here, but I did want to just mention about the efforts on wetlands restoration, streamlining, and accelerating it. I've mentioned it a couple times, but more specifically, we have a bill filed in both the House and the Senate that would streamline a couple of things that we've identified as sort of low-hanging fruit, where we've talked with DEP about it, and they agree, at least to some extent, that something needs to be done around those issues. One has to do with Chapter 91 for coastal stuff, and the other is invasive plant management in wetlands, and not requiring a full order of conditions, notice of intent, and order of conditions for at least certain kinds of low impact like hand pulling and hand cutting of invasives. And then piggybacking on the streamlining initiative that's just getting underway, we have a placeholder for like taking that to the next level. And then finally, a piece about nature-based solutions, things that are not necessarily permittable right now, but establishing a pilot program to allow some innovative methods to be tried out. And an example of that might be some river and stream restoration, things that involve placing wood and boulders and whatnot in streams to restore their natural sinuosity and flow, riffles and pools and all that. And some of those kinds of projects are really difficult to permit now. So that might be one example. Anyway, I sent Stephanie a section by section, and I'll put in the chat. We have an action alert center for Mass Audubon's priority bills, and this is one of them. And so we're asking folks to send messages to legislators asking them to please co-sponsor this legislation. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thanks. Anyone else?
I can go really quick. I just wanted to share that the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program is anticipating asking for our next round of watershed outreach and education proposals. So those are grants within the Narragansett Bay Watershed, includes the Blackstone Watershed. And these are for small-ish grants related to watershed outreach and education. So we're anticipating funding projects in the $5,000 to $15,000 range. When all that information is ready, I'll share it with the collaborative, and you can reach out to me with any questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. David?
Yeah, just a couple of quick updates. The MVP 2.0 program, which is a pilot program that MVP is running in 4 towns that are involved along the Mumford River, which is the other big tributary in Uxbridge. And we're deciding how to engage, do community engagement more effectively, and also deciding on seed projects. So that's to stay tuned. The other thing I wanted to make people aware of, and it's hitting Uxbridge and I'm sure other towns, is the battery energy storage system initiative, which is taking place. There's a big one going in Uxbridge on the banks of the Blackstone River. They contain lithium-ion batteries, and part of the issues we're seeing is as with solar fields, is a huge incentive to just clear cut and take open space and forestry land for these facilities. And it's been an issue. I know Mass Audubon has done a paper on this before about how it's a sort of a nasty trade-off. But we are seeing them here in the Blackstone Valley, and I'm sure in Rhode Island there are projects like this. And so we have it organized. There's been some sort of grassroots stuff going on up here, and anybody else that's involved, let me know. I'd be interested.
David, and if I can just chime in on that too, it related to that, the climate law that was passed last year includes provisions requiring the state to develop regulatory standards for siting of clean energy projects like solar and battery storage. And so there's going to be a rulemaking process very soon, and opportunities for public comment and input. And hopefully, what I'm hearing is because there's criteria in there, and they have to address things like carbon and biodiversity and all of that. So I'm hoping that it's going to steer these things more into the already developed or altered lands.
Yeah, I think so too, and it's just happening quickly because the financial incentives for these places are really high. So private developers are jumping all over the place, and I look forward to those rules for sure. Yeah, thank you, Heidi, for the Mass Audubon part.
Awesome. Thanks, David. And thanks, Heidi. Anyone else? Updates?
I'll just highlight what Hillary put in the chat. Or Hillary, if you want to jump in.
Yeah, sure. We've got our RFR for the action grant coming out again probably next week. And so we've had some pre-RFR information sessions online, and I put in the chat the recording and the slides for that if anyone is looking to apply to our grant. I put a link into the MVP 2.0 program if people are interested in what David was mentioning. Uxbridge and his 3 neighboring communities are doing a great job working on. And we have our winter webinars coming up next week and the week after, where we're talking about a community liaison model in Malden, I believe it is. It's been going on for a few years, and talking about H&H modeling, because a lot of communities are thinking about it and trying to demystify what they need.
That sounds like something I could use.
Couldn't we all?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll give you one more long, awkward pause.
Steph, is there an update on the what we were going to be hearing about, which is the MS4 permit? It sounds like it got pushed off for comments, or what's the next step on that? How can we get better educated?
So in terms of our speaker, Lydia said that she can attend our next meeting, which is March 21st. But I might hand it to maybe like Hillary or someone at DEP who might know more about that. I don't want to misspeak.
I haven't got any information on it right now.
Yeah.
I believe the comment period was extended to May 21st. I have a notice somewhere. I can forward it to you, Stephanie.
And then it sounds like it's geared up for phosphorus control plans in those watersheds that are impacted by phosphorus. And so there are TMDLs for phosphorus on a few lakes. And so that would imply the city of Worcester's got to come up with phosphorus control plans. And I would think that there are other sections of streams that should have a TMDL done for phosphorus, because that is going to be the driver for this increased analysis. So I got to get educated.
Yeah, I don't know enough specifics either. I would agree. That's why I'm looking forward to that presentation. And if others have questions for Lydia, let us know, and we can share those with her ahead of time to make sure that she can answer those. Olivia, yeah, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that Greater Worcester Land Trust has a Wild and Scenic Film Festival on March 28th. I also just got an email from Oleander at EEA, and she mentioned that there's a new EJ capacity building grant. So that's what she shared with us. There's a new RFP. It's due March 14th. And it includes eligible organizations of nonprofits, tribal governments, federal and state recognized, and other community organizations working on EJ issues. Partnerships are welcome. And it's up to $75,000 to build organizational capacity. So that's exciting. Any other updates that folks have? Okay, well, sounds like we wrapped up early at 11, so you get some extra time back, but thanks so much for coming and sharing all this information. I'm always overwhelmed by how much is going on in the Blackstone. There's a ton going on, and our drafted notes so far are like 15 pages long. We actually wanted to ask you if you're more interested in kind of like throw everything, all the different programs, events, jobs that are happening in the notes so that you can kind of pick and choose what you're interested in, or would you rather us be more curated on things that we're specifically more involved in or our partners are more involved in? So if you have thoughts. And Judy, if you're responding to that, jump in.
I just wanted to note that I just dropped the link to the Watershed Planning Program's TMDL section into the chat. So people that want to look up information on TMDLs, the whole TMDL process, as well as currently approved TMDL can check that out.
Yeah, thank you. And if you're not signed up for the Watershed Planning Program's email list, definitely sign up and you can get all those emails.
Yep, you can email me. I'm the person that adds everyone to the list, so.
Thanks.
About the notes, I kind of like that there is everything, so I do not look at them every time, but once in a while I I do, and it's really nice to be to feel there is everything, we
Okay.
talk about. And then I like in the Zoom link being in the email still because this morning it took me 5 minutes to like find it and download it. And so if you could just put it in the email again, that'd be great. I would love that.
Yes, thank you.
The notes are really comprehensive. Thank you for the effort that you put into those. I find them very helpful.
Okay. We've heard that before, but we're never sure if it just seems overwhelming when you look at how long they are. But as long as you feel like you can leisurely choose what you want to look at, sounds good for us. Okay, we will
They're
keep
much
them.
appreciated, and I recognize the effort having, editing notes meeting notes every month is to the meeting notes is they're valuable, and I applaud the effort and the comprehensiveness of it, and I think the way you do it is fine.
Well, total kudos to Kaylee there. She is the brains behind the notes and agendas and all of this information being compiled. So staying on top of it.
One quick update.
Sure.
If you want. I just wanted to let everybody know that the surface water quality standards section is working on our triennial review, and we're going to be doing a streamlined triennial review this year and then a more in-depth one next year. So over the next few months, or probably towards the end of maybe in the fall, we'll be holding public meetings for comments on the updates to the standards. And so I'm not sure of the format yet. I think some of it will be virtual. There may be some in person as well, but you can keep your eye out for that and just note, when you see the updates that this is a streamlined package, and then there is another package that will be coming next year or so.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, keep us posted. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll see you at our next meeting on March 21st. And it's going to be like actually pretty springy at that next meeting. So keep looking for your signs of spring. Stay positive. Enjoy that Tuesday 50-degree weather. And totally unofficially encouraging you all to play hooky and get outside. Bye, everybody.
Bye, thanks.
Thanks.